Hello and welcome to the show. That's right. This is Get Clear Social Justice Network, and I got your news for you. This is Dr. Nova Gray, the most trusted voice in social justice. That's right. And I'm bringing you tonight's show. Listen, this is a show for everyday citizens because some of you don't watch the news, but I got it for you, right? I am bringing you the news. I want to let you know what's happened, why it's happening, and why you need to know it's important for its happening. And so this is what it's all about tonight. I want to share with you what's happened in the news since the last time I brought you the news. But guess what? I'm doing something new. Talking about news, I do this uh, show. It's coming to you live in video. That's right. Those of you that are watching by Facebook, go ahead and like and share, so others can come onto this right now. Go ahead and like and share. But I'm doing this as a podcast every morning, and the show's getting really popular attention out on the app called Breakout. If you're not familiar with it, go to your where you buy your little apps, whether it's Android or whether it's on the Apple Store, and join me every morning at 8 o'clock a.m. where we do Get Clear Network news every morning. So we bring the news to you on this platform right now, but in January we're going to do this every day. But we bring to you the interesting news that I find interesting. And boy, it's been some stuff. Ooh, I can't wait to get into it. It's been some things that have been happening. And so definitely, I want to bring the content that I feel is pertinent for you to know. And it's my desire to bring clarity without influence. That's all I want to do. Clarity without influence. But there's one story. It's got a little bit of my influence in it. Well, more my personality into it, not influence, because I'm not trying to influence you one way or the other, and without propaganda. So tonight's theme is going to be, ooh, did that really happen? That's tonight's theme. Did that really? Did that happen? So first story. Breaking news. So I am minding my own business, working in my office. That's right. It was breaking news. I'm minding my own business, working, and I'm watching President Biden yesterday, and we're talking about what he was talking about too. And all of a sudden, it's like breaking news. I said, well, he is news. What he's talking about. The Attorney General of New York, I want to call her Dr. Letitia James. Honey, she comes on the stage and she says, we're bringing charges against, I don't know, Donald Trump. She didn't even say former president. She said Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, Trump Jr., and all the other Trumps. That's it. All of them. She started naming the Trumps, honey. And my little eyes went 220-page document. 220-page document, over $250 million. When she laid out the level charges, I mean, she took about, so there's an article. I'm going to link the article in the comments. Go read it. And it's on YouTube, right? If you want to watch it, right? It's on YouTube. So elaborate. She laid out the Mar-a-Lago, right? So Mar-a-Lago is listed for a particular price, but it's overinflated. Almost all of his properties, allegedly, she alleges that, and she went step by step by step by step by step. I was like, but the thing that got me, yes, the charges got me. So 3 years they've been working on this. So the thing that got me, as much as the charges, I was flabbergasted that they've been doing this. So a lot of lessons in there. Like, would you cover for your parent to that extent, I probably would. I'm just saying, if my mom said, "Hey, my property is worth $1 million, and I want to get a loan against it, but I know the property is only worth $900. Norma, will you just sign this bank loan with me?" I don't know. My knower is going like, "No, you wouldn't." Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't know how Ivanka felt when she was doing that, but it's a family affair. It's a So anyway, let me get back to the story. So she's reading all the things, and it's incredible. You have to watch the video. You have to watch the video. It's going to be in the link in the comments. But the thing that got me was she tried to hold back her personal feelings about the matter that she's been working on for 3 years, but she couldn't do it. So she steps to the podium and she says, "Hi, I'm the Attorney General, and we are bringing charges against Donald Trump, Trump, all the Trumps." And then she starts reading, and then she says, "And she started bringing a little attitude." I said, "Oh, sister girl, this get personal." I was cracking up because I know what it is to be professional, and you're trying to be professional, and you're trying not to get in your feelings. But honey, when somebody's been after you and you've been after them, and you get your moment to be like, "Gotcha." She tried, and so she let it slide a couple of times. She let the hand go, right? She let the little neck roll a little bit, and then she brought it back in. This 220-page document, and then she let her head sling. I said, she can't help it. I said, "Have your moment, sister." And I said, and then the way her speech patterns were, right? I said, I bet you she go to a Baptist church. I bet you. Ding, 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 ding. I said, I gotta go follow her. I gotta go find out. I looked her up on Wikipedia. Sure do. Sure does go to a Baptist church. I said, she's somebody's speaker. Anyway, Attorney General filed a lawsuit against former President Trump and all the Trumps. All of, yeah, except Melania. It might have been in the prenuptial agreement. I bet you Melania said, "Thank God, thank God, thank God." Yeah, except for Melania. And not only that, this is getting back to the seriousness of the news. Not only is she filed a lawsuit for that, she also said that she wants to bar them from ever doing business with any corporation in the whole state of New York. That was the breaking news. Okay. So, coupled along with that, so that, Mr. V. Putin, Vladimir is his name, threatened to use nuclear weapons in the war against Ukraine, and that was the reason why. Our President Biden was speaking at the UN when this breaking news did happen. So the reason why Putin threatened nuclear weapons was because he wants to annex in the portions of Ukraine that he's already claimed victory in. And Ukraine has said, "Nah, that's not fitting to happen. That should, we got a little too lax. That should not happen," right? And he says, "Listen, if you don't allow us to annex that in, then we're going to use nuclear weapons." And when pressed on the issue, Vladimir Putin said, "It's not a threat." And all the rest of the world should understand, I'm not threatening. This is serious, right? So our President Biden was responding to that in his speech yesterday, saying that um, it's shameless that he should not be using nuclear weapons as a threat and a stronghold um, to get what he wants. And so that's what Biden was saying in response to, in response to that. So I also will link that in the chat for those of you that want to be up on that story. So lots of things happening internationally. So there were there was two deals internationally to get prisoners of war, if you will, out of foreign countries back here, American citizens. One of those deals went through. I'm going to tell you about the deal that went through. And so there was a deal on the table to get, let's see, his name is Alice Drewski and Andy Hume, right? And that, I just found that out. So I know my producer's looking to like, you didn't give me that. I just found that out, right? So Alex Drewski and Andy Hume, they were captured while fighting in Ukraine. And the Saudi Arabians made this deal along with 5 British persons, right? So that deal went successfully through, and it included 5 British, 1 Moroccan, 1 Swedish, and 1 Croatians. And so Alex Drewski and Andy Hume, 2 Americans who were fighting in the war in Ukraine, are now freed. So they are free. But as it relates to Americans, Griner and Wheeler, they still the deal on the table. So let me tell you what the deal is. The Russians offered one of their spies that we're holding go free and 1 arms dealer that we're holding go free. So the deal is there, you give us the spy that you're holding and we'll give you Wheeler. You give us the arm dealer and we'll give you Griner. President Biden said, no, how about we give you the arms dealer for both? So that's the deal that's on the table. So we're at a standstill. So my question to the audience right now, do you think President Biden will cave? Do you think our president is going to say yes or no? Do you think our president is going to cave into the deal, right? Again, the deal is Russia said, you give us a spy, we'll give you Wheeler. You give us the arms dealer, and I'll give you Griner. And Biden says, hey, no, we'll give you the arms dealer, but you got to give us both, right? So do you think the president is going to cave? I think he has no other option. These 2 Americans need to come home. And we can get into the logistics at another conversation as to whether or not, Griner did what she did, broke the law. That's a whole nother conversation. But these Americans need to come home. And I don't think that, and please forgive me for my allergies. It's really been a bad allergy day today. But I just absolutely don't think he has a ground to stand on as it relates here. I think that he's going to have to make the deal and get them home. And I just hope it's a, peaceful deal, peaceful transition, and that they both get home safely. All right, moving right along to national. Let me make sure I covered everything in the world news. I did. So moving on to to world news. National news. I'm getting myself confused. Are y'all ready? Back to former President Trump. This whole thing with the DOJ and the super master Judge Drury. That's him, Judge Drury. He's not a bad looking older man. Kind of got a square head. So Judge Drury has been on fast track, like Petticoat Junction. Some of y'all don't even know what Petticoat Junction is because it's older. But he's been moving swiftly, right? And so the Trump attorney said, "Hold up. I don't want you to look at these documents because these documents might contain some information that may incriminate or may hinder me from properly representing my clients." Judge Drew said, "I'm not gonna fly. We can still go. We proceeding, right?" So he called it prima facie. I had never heard of that word before. Prima facie. Prima facie means because they're trying to claim these documents were classified and that the former president classified them. In fact, listen, let me tell you what Mr. Trump said on a Fox interview. Former President Trump said, the interviewer said, did you declassify them? He said, sure I did. I declassified them. I could just say I declassified them. In fact, I could just think in my mind that I declassified them. I was like, somebody get Uncle Donald. Somebody get your uncle. Where is his PR person? I could just think that they were this close. He's so funny until it's not. He's so funny that's not funny. I'm like, you're gonna use that as a defense. I just like I Dream of Jeannie. Declassified. This stuff is so, but I love it. I love bringing the news because that's why it's just so funny. So anyway, Judge Jury said, prima facie, you have to prove to me that this is incriminating. So yeah, it's a no. I'm continuing to move on. In the meantime, the DOJ was trying to get the reversal of Drury's ability to even look at the documents, right? So that went on for a week. And boom, they got it today. The judge gods spoke. So today, of the 11,000 documents, the DOJ was awarded that they will be able to look at 100, or Judge Jury, 100 and some odd of them, Judge Jury cannot look at because those are the ones that contain the meat. Those are the ones that contain the meat of the investigation, and Judge Jury will not be able to look at those, and neither will. Well, I'm sure at this point Trump already knows what's in them. Former President Trump knows what's in them because he declassified them in his mind. That's classic. He need to tweet that. That should have been a tweet. But that means the DOJ can continue to do their job and their due diligence by moving the case forward, right? So victory for the DOJ, double whammy for the Trump administration. I mean, they were already dealing with this Mar-a-Lago, and now they got Attorney General Letitia neck rolling, hand slinging, tongue popping. Woo! I prayed for him today. Yes, I did. I prayed for former Trump today because this is your life. So that's where we are. I hope you learned a new word, prima facie. That means put up or shut up. Yeah, it's a no. You have to be able to prove what you're saying. If you're saying that these documents are declassified, then you got to prove it. All right, moving right along, staying with national news. Now, wasn't this? This was a bowl of mixed nuts, Fruit Loops, mixed something. The migrant mystery, or is it human trafficking? So, Republican senators took an action that I found out actually they were doing for a minute. But it wasn't until they put some folks on a plane and flew them to Martha's Vineyard, put some on a bus and sent them to Vice President Kamala Harris's house. Made news. So they've been doing this secretly, sending migrant workers to to the upstates, like New York, Maine. I think New York and Maine, and maybe Baltimore. But they've been doing this for months. Senators have been paying bus companies to bus migrants from the border up north. They've been doing it for a while. It just made news when it hit them at the front door. So when it made news, then the Democratic talking heads now they want to whine, and so they're saying it's not fair. This is human trafficking, but is it really? So that's there's a conundrum there. Is it really human trafficking? Right? I understand the point that the Republicans are making because these migrants, they want to get into a country that they believe is the land of the free and the home of the brave. They're coming into this country because they want a better life, because that's what we offer. That's the label, that's the brand of America. And that's definitely the brand that the Democrats put out there, right? That we will take your wounded, we'll take your, whatever that particular motto is, but we put that out there that we are welcoming, right? But if we're welcoming, then it shouldn't be beholden, just in my opinion, to the border states to bear the burden if we're not going to take them in or help them in some manner to bear the burden there. And so the message of the Republican Party is, okay, share the load. As a leader, I teach tote fair, right? If you're toting a load, then tote it fairly. That means everybody carry their own weight, right? It's like if we were carrying a 4-pronged crate or barrel, right? Each one of those 4 corners got to lift their weight together and at the same time, or else it's going to tilt, right? And in this country, the weight of the border is tilted. And so these senators, they got some cojones and they said, send them to Martha's Vineyard. Now, the sad thing about this is that these migrant workers are pawns in a game that I don't like. They're using human lives as political pawns in their game. Now that I don't like, and I'd like to call them out on that. Yeah, I get the point, but you don't use human people like chess pieces and move them around the country just to make a point, to prove your point. You prove your point in the Senate. You prove your point by your vote. You prove your point by your arguments. Sorry, I misspoke. But you don't take humans who are already suffering. I don't believe you take human lives that are suffering and use them to make your point. That's wrong. That's just wrong, as the girl said in one of those movies. So now there's a sheriff in. Let me go to my notes. So there's a sheriff in Texas who's investigating whether or not how this happened, and if they deem it, however they're going to investigate if it was human trafficking, and there's a governor in Florida who's looking to see if it's human trafficking. The reason why I don't want it linked to human trafficking, because human trafficking ties to sex trafficking, and that's serious. That's a real deal. This what they're doing is a game, political game, and I think it muddies the waters when it comes to what real human trafficking is. It muddies the water. What these political heads are doing is just wrong, in my opinion. And I wish they would stop. I mean, when you go back and look, if you do your research on what's happened, these people look like deers caught in the headlights. Hope you guys, if you're watching by Facebook, leave me some comments. They look like deer. They had no idea where they were going. And I'm sure while they were on the plane, they were like, ooh, we just crossed the border. Now we on a plane. Ding, ding, ching, ding. Drinking, having a good time. Had no idea what was happening to them. Something wrong in the soul. Let me move on before I took a sermon. All right, moving right along. This story. Oh my goodness. I got to get his name right. Adnan Syed. This story here, when I heard it, was like, oh, I was so intrigued. Young man, 17 years old, was accused, convicted, and sentenced for killing his girlfriend, and went to prison, served 23 years. All the while, all the time he's in there, claim I'm innocent. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that's like? To be imprisoned for 23 years. Innocent. Well, he got free. Freedom, 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 free. Hey, Regina. So glad you were able to catch us live. I know we normally come on later than we are, but Ayan Syed. I know I'm messing up his name, but look him up. He got free. Now let me tell you how he got free. Somebody picked up the story and made a podcast about it. It's called Serial. Look it up. But this is in 20. I think the Serial podcast came out in 2014. They made a podcast about his story, being convicted of a crime he didn't commit, and the podcast went viral. See, that's why I do what I do, because you never know who is going to help, right? Like, I'm just talking into my camera right now. I can't see, I can't see you, you can't see me, but I might be able to change somebody's life with with my personality. But you never know. The podcast went viral, and come to find out that the prosecution withheld evidence from the defense. So he had an attorney, Ayan Syed. I think I'm saying it better now. Ayan Syed had an attorney that the original prosecutor withheld evidence from. Okay? This attorney dies. Ayan Saeed is found guilty. First trial. First trial. The rule of law is if the evidence is not brought to trial in the first trial, it can never be recalled in any other trials, appeals. So they find out that the prosecution withheld evidence, which is expulcatory. I think I'm saying that wrong. So it's known that the prosecution didn't tell them that, but he can't introduce it into facts because his first attorney didn't object to it or bring it up, but he's dead. So Ayan is stuck. That's the system. So this is exposed in this serial. So not only did the prosecution do it once, they did it twice to Ayan Saeed. They did it to him twice. So this is all exposed in this podcast called Serial. Go listen to it. And it goes viral. People are outraged. They put so much pressure, and then not only that, not juicy. Not only that, it's later determined that possible two other suspects, one really strong, two other suspects could have done the crime. So with all of that information, he didn't even have he didn't have to call for a retrial. The prosecution said can we speak to the judge? Can we have a moment? They called for a hearing. And they said, listen, we can no longer find reasonable cause, and we'd like to request that Ayan Saeed be released. Yes, they did. And so they have 30 days to 30 days to bring new charges against them, or else it will be deemed dismissed. Right? But here's the thing. Number one, of course, they're not going to bring up new charges. It's just going to silently go away into the night. Right? But what will happen is that it will forever be on his record that he was charged. He was convicted. Right? Oh, and he gonna get paid. Sign me up for he gonna get paid. But isn't it funny? That's the system. And this is what this is what one of the reasons why I do what I do. You gotta know the system. You gotta know how it works. And I love people that are podcasters and individuals like me that listen, and I'm not getting paid to do this, sharing information, connecting the people to truth. I'm not getting paid to do this. And that podcaster, I don't know, but I would venture to say he didn't get paid to tell Ayan Saeed's story. He did it because the truth will make you free. My sister was like, Mom, that was off key. The truth shall make you free. It will. And the truth made him free. So Ayan Saeed, certainly I prayed for him to deal with as he transitions out, the removal of the stain of everything that he went through while he was imprisoned. But he's free. And really, really grateful. And kudos and applaud to, and I didn't look that up, who the podcaster was who created that, but kudos to him and all those that got behind and made the phone calls and did whatever you did so that this man now who served 23 years for something that he didn't do, and the mentality, the tenacity, the whatever it takes. Because listen, I've been lied on publicly lied on, ridiculed, lambasted, whatever word in the media. That's horrible, and I know what that feels like. But to go to jail with it, ooh, woo. So for him to survive that, lift it, brother. I'm lifting you. All right. Let's switch here for a minute. We have been having some extreme weather. Fiona just, man, every time in the news they would say the name Fiona, I would think about Fiona from the movie Shrek, right? I was thinking about, ooh, Fiona, she doing a thing. She tore up Puerto Rico. Like Turks and Caicos, she hit it at a category 3 or 4 over Turks and Caicos. And now she is making her way and will make landfall Canada. But by the time she slams into Canada, the winds will still be hurricane force winds, but it'll be downgraded to a tropical storm. But just in the earth itself, we've had more flooding than I've seen in a very, very long time. Earthquake, there was a 7.2 earthquake this week. Extreme heat. I mean, we're about to hit October. We still got 90 degrees in South Carolina, Texas, everywhere. Extreme heat. Another glacier fell off this. So what is that telling you? It's telling me these are the signs of the times. So I know some people want to call it global warming, but yeah. Last year, I think it was last year, in Texas, the pipes froze, and that that part of the world wasn't built for that. So when the pipes froze, the water they burst, and major flooding destroyed lots of homes. So yeah, I don't know how we repair or respond. Yeah, I don't know what we need to do except just be ready. And whatever that means to you, be ready, right? So there are some that when they think about be ready, that means Andy, get your gun. That means get your canned goods, have your generator, whatever be ready is. But this earth is moaning and groaning, and climate is changing, and things are happening. Things are happening. I went to the grocery store, and I don't typically do that anymore. I just send people. I don't like going out. I really don't. I'm getting old. And I had to go to Walmart, and I was like, I was shocked. The shelves were bare. I couldn't find what I'm like. This is a different world. I felt like I was in a movie when, like, I guess when the pandemic hit. It's a different world. So extreme weather, what does that mean, y'all? Put it in the comments. What does this mean? It's the end of the world. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. Right? Let me talk about this. Has anybody seen The Woman King? It came out, and it came out buzzing. First of all, that trailer. First of all, let me just say, I didn't see it. I said I was going to go see it when it came out, but I'm kind of not ready for the theater. I know I'm protected and covered, but I'm not ready to sit in a movie theater, number one, with a mask on. I just don't like it. I have allergies, and the mask, as you can tell, I got breathing problems. I got, now I use a allergy, asthma pump. Just, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But if I would go for anybody, it's going to be for that. So somebody said, go on a weekday. So I missed that. But the thing that got me first was the trailer. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's about to be some trouble. I said, it's going to be some trouble. I see women rising up saying, don't play with me. This movie topped the box, 19 million in, and that Viola, I want her to be my auntie. That's all I'm saying. Miss Viola, if you ever get to watch this, I want you to be my auntie, okay? Because she's just somebody. I think she could play anything. I think she play a Ritz cracker laying with some cheese beside it and play real good. I'm just saying. The Homie is based on a real tribal experience, but not the total truth. Okay. The Dahomey really had a part to play in slave trade, right? If the truth be told, they did have a part to play in slave trade. The Dahomey, look that up, right? Look that up because they did. But the part of it, and that the fact that the women rose up, right? A lot of women nations in our African history, and that's what I love. So when people look at me and want to know where I get my authority, it's in my DNA, and I own it. I own it proudly. When I went to Kenya the very first time, I didn't have this red hair then. And I went to Kenya the first time. As soon as I stepped off the plane, they started speaking to me in Swahili. They did, I promise you. They started speaking to me in Swahili, and all I did was graciously smile. I did just like that. And so I kindly explained to the person, I don't speak the language. And so he said, "Oh, sister, I thought you was Kenyan. You look like that." I said, I knew it. I got the features. Not when I do that, but yes. So I own my roots, and I've got Anglo-Saxon in me as well. I own part of England because I believe that the tribe that I'm from in Africa got traded to England. Now I'm not sending in my DNA to the government. I'm not doing that. Buying these kits, that's a whole nother story. I'm not doing that. I just know what I know. That's another show. So, one more thing I want to talk about before I go into my call to action, and that is cell phones, children in schools. So I thought it was just in I can't remember the town, but they wanted there's this gadget that they have where children come to school, they put their cell phone in a thing and it locks, and the children won't have access to their phone. It's a whole big thing that teachers and administrators don't want their children to have their cell phones because they're distracted. Now, I'm not a parent, but I tell you this, with these school shootings going on, I would be fighting for my kid to have their phone with them. They would be hearing from my mouth. Yes, my kid needs their phone in the school. I would teach them not to be using it at school. And if they called me and said, "Hey, Christiana been using her phone at school," she wouldn't use it again, but she would have it. It's too dangerous out here for children not to be able to have access to their phone at school, in my opinion. So I'm gonna leave you with that last. And I did tell my producer to put that question up, so she can be like, but anyway, I'm gonna leave you with that. So those of you that are watching by way of Facebook, answer that question. Should children be allowed to have their phones at school? All right. So let's get to the call to action. Out of all the things that you've heard, and there were a lot, and they're juicy, you know, I was having this discussion on another platform. I told you that I'm on a platform called Breakout, and I do this show as a podcast every morning, 8:00 a.m. on Breakout. If you'd like to be a part of that discussion, then download the app from the App Store or get it at your Android store and join the conversation Get Clear Network News there on Breakout. And we were having a discussion with how does politics and politicians become so untrustworthy and do some of the things that we talked about today, opening the show with former President Trump having allegedly falsified documents, having taken documents that were deemed to be classified, to an unsecured location, having senators busing migrants that are coming to this country, busing them to other places, politicians that say they want open borders, but then when migrants come into their states, now they have a problem with it. How do we get good, honest, decent, non-lying citizens to participate in politics? How do we do that? And so I'm on the fence when it comes to that, because many people ask me, why don't you run, Norma? And I think the solution to the problem is, yes, we get more honest, integritous individuals to get involved. And I didn't say run, I said get involved, to hold politicians and leaders accountable. And the reason why I didn't say become politicians, city council, because politics is a game. And the nature of the game includes deception. That's just the game. And I learned that. You can't be a politician without making a deal or becoming beholden to someone. You just can't. If someone would like to have that conversation, throw the link back up. You can contact me on several of these platforms. Email me, contact me on my website, and we can have that discussion. And if you can prove to me, getclearnetwork.com, if you can prove to me where it's not a game and you don't have to lie, I'll change my statement and maybe take you to lunch at Sweet Tea Cafe in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That means you may have to get on a plane. It's a game. And you have to either be beholden to someone, make some type of agreement with someone, a group of people. There's someone in my town right now made a deal with a whole group of people just to win. Sad. So, call to action, get involved to hold elected officials accountable to what they say they are going to do. If you believe in what they said they were going to do, don't just talk it. Don't just talk it on Facebook. Don't just talk it around your dinner table. Don't just talk it in rooms, Facebook, Zoom rooms, whatever, breakout rooms. Don't just talk the talk. Walk the walk. Go to the meetings. Call them up on the phone. Send them an email. It's election time. Let them know in the voting booth. And let them know this is how you voted and why you voted. I do. And they hate to see me coming. And I don't care. I'm so over it, right? I was having another conversation with, she said, you got to wear fake skin until you get real tough skin. Yeah. I used to wear fake tough skin because I would, be tough and then come home and cry. Yeah. Yeah. No. The way we move forward is to move forward, holding accountable those who are in leadership. I'm totally against those in leadership not walking in integrity. I don't dislike President Trump, but I dislike the way, if this is how he earned his money, then the Attorney General is absolutely right. She's got every right to do what she did. And I hope that it comes to the light. If it's found that those documents were improperly placed and were not declassified and not by blinking in his mind, then whatever is due justice needs to happen. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. This is not about red or blue. This is not about Republican or Democrat, the way that many people would want to make it. It's not. This is about truth and untrue. This is about righteous and unrighteous. And if we all could just keep it there and not make it personal attacks against another individual, this world would be a better place. I don't know why I felt like singing, but anyway, it is time to go. And as always, this has been my pleasure to bring you all the news that I felt is the news for this particular time. As always, you can always find us here at Get Clear Network News, but now you can find me over there at a place called Breakout. Dun, 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 dun. But you can find me at Breakout every morning, 8 o'clock. So go to your app store, whether it be Android or Apple, and get the app Breakout and join me every morning, like tomorrow morning. And Get Clear Network News will be over there. Until the next time, stay clear. Because listen, when you wipe your lens clear, you can see. And the further you can see is the further you can go. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Till the next time. Get Clear, Social Justice Network, where we want to hear your voice. Whether you agree with me or not, we want to hear your voice. We're here to bring awareness, we're here to educate, and we're here to bring justice. That's right. Get Clear, Social Justice Network. We're here for you. Hi. Listen, do you need a break? I know you do. This has been a year, right? So come and go with me February 3rd through the 5th to the lovely islands of Hawaii. That's right. Gather your friends and come along and connect with other like-minded individuals and come and get away. I am going to be doing a weekend island experience and a one-day empowerment summit. Go to getclear.com or getclearnetwork.com and get more information about this exquisite Vacation and Empowerment Summit with yours truly, Dr. Norma Gray. Listen, do you need to be equipped as an entrepreneur, as a ministry leader, or government official? Listen, even in life or in business, then I am the consultant and coach and mentor that you need. I assist nonprofits in their grant planning and strategy. Listen, you can even book a Pick My Brain think tank. Have you need a coach for your book, project management, or economic development? Contact me today at drnormagray@gmail.com or 803-310-4097. I'll be waiting on a call or email from you.